All right, people. So, Joseph Parker versus Daniel Dubois. Now, I did a video about this last night entitled Three Reasons Why Daniel Dubois Beats Joseph Parker. And a lot of people in the comment section were saying, oh, no, you might think Daniel Dubois wins. Do not, under any circumstances, write off Joseph Parker. And I always say, in the interest of fairness, when I do those videos, it's not necessarily a pick of mine that I'm going to be definitely saying just because I did three reasons Daniel Dubois wins means I'm necessarily picking him. And I always say, in the interest of fairness, because I do it for one fighter, I have to do it for the other fighter. Because there are three reasons as to why I feel Joseph Parker will win this fight. And the reasons don't always have to be technical. They are, I guess, a keys to victory, but they're not necessarily a technical keys to victory. There's a lot of things that could be, that you could look at from the outside looking in and say, I think with that might be something that Joseph Parker can actually use and can use to his advantage in this fight. That's what we're going to do in this video. This fight, obviously, Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker, it's for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. Daniel Dubois, he picked that title up. Well, it was gifted to him by Alexander Usyk. He successfully defended it against Anthony Joshua. Both these fighters are on a tremendous run of form lately, picking up wins and tough fights back to back as well. It's not like they're having one tough fight, an easy fight, and then a tough fight. No, it's just been a string of them for both fighters, respectively. So they're on a very good run of form. This is happening on one of the biggest, best cards, certainly me as a boxing fan has ever seen. Now, I've been religiously following this sport as hardcore as I can be the last 13 years, since 2012. And I can say that in that time, I can categorically say this is, for me, the best card on paper I have ever seen. It's incredible. It really is. This is a fight that has captured so many people's attention. It's such a great fight. It's two top five heavyweights. And normally when you're talking about two top five heavyweights, you're normally talking about a main event level fight. And normally on any given show, this would be. But the problem is, right, it's not really a problem. The amazing thing is, every other fight on this card is a main event fight as well. It's one of, certainly for me, one of, if not the best cards you will ever see on paper. And I feel it's going to deliver. I absolutely can't wait. The At AMG Man Riyadh Seasons February 22nd, almost said 25th there for some reason, February 22nd show. We're going to have that out tomorrow or Tuesday, one or the other. This will be live on the DAZN as well. You can purchase this for £19.99, no subscription required, on the global home of boxing, and it shows you all the fights that are going to be happening, that are going to be taking place. The G-Man link will be in the comment section. Again, one of, if not certainly for me, the greatest shows on paper I have ever seen, and it'll be there live on the DAZN. Also, if you are someone who's thinking about, going down the YouTube road, or maybe you already have a channel and you're looking to spice up the thumbnails, have a look there on screen. Becca, who actually designed the thumbnail for this video, she has some great designs. She does a lot of great work. She's done several thumbnails for me. Have a look at her website. That will also be linked in the comments section. So let's talk Joseph Parker's chances of victory here against Daniel Dubois, because he does have chances. He absolutely does. And in the video I did yesterday, I said it was three reasons as to why I felt Daniel Dubois beat Joseph Parker. Well, this is three reasons as to why I feel Joseph Parker beats Daniel Dubois. I'm going to be using a little bit of footage. Thank you to the DAZN for letting me use this. And I think that by the time I finish this, you will be, at the very least, you'll be thinking about things. You'll be thinking, does Dubois actually have, something really big to worry about? He may very well. Let's start with the first reason as to why I feel Joseph Parker beats Daniel Dubois, and it's something that we kind of have a tendency. We do have a bit of a tendency to overlook when it comes to Joseph Parker, which is punching power. Now, I know some people will kind of scoff at that and say, for Joseph Parker, punching power, really? He's not feather-fisted. He certainly isn't. Would I say he hits harder than Anthony Joshua? No. Did Anthony Joshua ever really tag Daniel Dubois? Briefly in the 5th round, and he went in recklessly, and he paid for it. He paid the ultimate price because he got taken out with one shot. But does Daniel Dubois have an iron chin? Does he have a Filip Hrgovic level chin, the man he fought? Well, Filip Hrgovic has one of the best chins in the division. He's never been, well, he has been down officially. It shouldn't have really been called a knockdown. But apart from that, he's been in there with numerous big punches and he's never noticeably been hurt. Daniel Dubois early in his career was stunned by Richard Latte. Daniel Dubois was dropped several times against Kevin Lerena. Kevin Lerena is a bridgerweight and not a particularly big puncher, even a bridgerweight, former cruiserweight as well. Not a particularly big puncher. So I would say Joseph Parker hits harder than Kevin Lerena. I would say he hits harder than Richard Latte, to be honest with you. And we're going to look at some of Joseph Parker's knockouts, some of the fighters he's hurt. And crucially, you're going to notice something about these knockdowns, right? It's a punch. And it's a punch that one Daniel Dubois is actually quite open to. And it's a punch that Anthony Joshua, in the first round of their respective fight, did try and start working. He was unsuccessful with it, and after he was hurt in the end of the first round and dropped, he abandoned this punch altogether. It's a punch that's there for most fighters when they face Daniel Dubois. You'll see it now in a sec. But let's have a look on screen. I'm going to take a few snippets from the Deontay Wilder fight, which was not a particularly stellar fight. But if we look at round 8, which you'll see on screen now, you'll see Wilder actually gets stunned. Look at that. Right hand goes in, Wilder looks at the referee, and he's backed up to the ropes. The hand speed of Joseph Parker, look at the hand speed. When he lets those combinations go, it is blistering. Wilder having to hold on, taking the shots. Legs look a little bit unsteady there. He's backed up to the ropes. Joseph Parker is swinging. He is letting those shots go. Those big, strong shoulders, that will generate a lot of power. They will definitely generate a lot of power. Joseph Parker also, some would say it's maybe a bit of a catch-22. You're maybe trading speed in terms of power with this. But Joseph Parker early in his career was in the 230s, low 240s. Now he's been coming in solid in the 250s. A lot of people have been saying they notice an increase in power since then. That is something to add. And they have talked about Joseph Parker coming in as much as 120 kilos. Very heavy for this fight. So that was Joseph Parker. This was his fight against Simon Keane. Lovely uppercut. Down goes Keane. And that was it. He didn't recover from that. The referee waved it off after that. That was on the undercard of Fury versus Ngannou. Let's have a look. A man who takes some stopping is one Derek Chisora. Now, Joseph Parker didn't stop him, but Tyson Fury, in how many fights and how many rounds did he drop Derek Chisora? No. How many big punches did Vitaly Klitschko in 12 rounds drop Derek Chisora? No. And we know Vitaly Klitschko is a big puncher. Very few fighters have put Derek Chisora down. Joseph Parker's one of them. Let's have a look-see here. Boom. Uppercut went in. Chisora has to hold, goes into the ropes. Howard Foster, correctly, this is correct, he administers a count. Although Chisora didn't officially touch down, yes, he was right to rule a knockdown. He did touch down in round 7. Have a look there on screen. And again, ooh, big uppercut, down goes Chisora. And he was hurt from that shot. Look at him. You can see it in his face. He was hurt from that shot. If Joseph Parker doesn't hit that hard, well, Derek Chisora, he takes some dropping. He does. So I think that Joseph Parker definitely has enough punching power there. And I would say Derek Chisora takes a better shot even still now. And then that was a couple of years ago. Then Daniel Dubois, you know. So, and, you know, look at the likes of Alexander Usyk, another one. Won the fight comprehensively. Never looked like he had Derek Chisora in any real trouble in a sense of hurting him. Joseph Parker's punching power. And crucially, what do you notice about all those knockdowns that I showed you? The uppercut. Daniel Dubois is very upright, to say the least. He's a very stiff, robotic heavyweight. He stands very much upright. He can't really change that. That's the way his body is. His construct is just that way. There's nothing he can really do to change that. And that's going to go into the second point. But before I go into that, a fighter like Daniel Dubois, who's very upright like that, he has a tendency to come in and he actually lets his chin go over his lead foot. They always say in boxing, your chin should never go in over your knee, over the lead foot. You have a tendency to do that. And if you do that, leave yourself open for an uppercut. And Joseph Parker, he drops plenty of people with that shot. He's dropped plenty of people with straight right hands as well. He's dropped plenty of people. He's not feather fisted, Joseph Parker. But that particular punch, the uppercut, let's just say it's a bit of a side note. That punch is going to be there for Joseph Parker. When he lets it go, he's very accurate with it, very powerful with it. And the only thing you would say maybe is a bit of a worry, if he does get Dubois in trouble, will he be able to close the show? He wasn't able to do it against Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is wily, he's a veteran. And he did claw his way back into that fight, to be fair. With Daniel Dubois, well, Daniel Dubois is a lot more dangerous. in terms of punching power. Daniel Dubois will go for the jugular, and that's what he is. He is seek and destroy. So if he gets that uppercut going, he's able to hurt Dubois, which is likely, then, you know, he's going to want to close the show just to be on the safe side. Just to be on the safe side. Let's talk about the second reason why I feel that Daniel Dubois loses to Joseph Parker, and that is Daniel Dubois' poor defense and poor movement with defensive movements. Against Filip Hrgović, and which we'll show a few snippets now, every time I go back and I look at those first couple of rounds, it just looks worse and worse each time. It really does. It looks worse and worse each time because he was shifting so much punishment, and you really see it with Daniel Dubois. I'll show you in this video. Let's have a look. This is the start of round one, right? Boom. Right hand immediately going in by Filip Hrgović, and another one goes in. There you go. Big right hand. Daniel Dubois ducks, or tries to duck, and he just isn't able to actually move and bob and weave with those shots at all. Biting on feints there. He's off balance with that shot there. Look at that, and he takes a right hand in retaliation. I should actually go back to that little bit there when I come to the end of this, and I'll talk you through it. But yep, still taking a few shots there. Right hands go in. There was a moment there in that round where Daniel Dubois, he actually slips a shot from Filip Hrgović, and this is where you see his construct. It doesn't really allow him to slip and move with these shots. So he actually looked to dip and roll under the shot, and he was able to do it. But he's not able to actually counter off that, and then he puts himself off balance, and then leaves himself open to another shot. He's just so stiff and upright that he's not really able to actually move with these shots the way someone who's a bit more kind of fluid, someone who's, you know, even someone like an Alexander Usyk, you know, he'd be able to just move, slip, and then boom, I'm attacking you. Dubois can just move and slip. If he comes back with another shot, I'm screwed, you know. So that's something Joseph Parker's going to be able to work with. Him and Hrgović, I would say Hrgović is the bigger puncher of the two, but Joseph Parker, he won't have the stamina issues, for one, that I think Filip Hrgović had, and Parker is a lot more crisp with the combinations, and crucially, they're a lot faster as well. So if Dubois tries to duck and roll out of the way and move, he's going to be getting hit with 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, because Parker, as you saw in the clip I showed you with Wilder, he can open up those combinations, boom, 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 boom. So very impressive. Let's have a look-see here at another part of Hrgović Dubois on screen there. This is the second round, and again, it's more to say. Daniel Dubois, to be fair, does land the right hand there, but he does shift some more punishment in this fight. Look at that. Shots go in from Filip Hrgović. And yeah, he takes Daniel Dubois really in round number 2. He took some shots. He definitely took some shots in there. So Daniel Dubois, basically his poor defense and the fact that Joseph Parker actually can punch in combinations and throw some good shots as well. That's the second point. Punching power and Dubois' poor defense. Some people would say, well, in the Joshua fight, he didn't really get hit much. Yeah, because he had Joshua pretty much out on his feet from round 1. And Joshua made it incredibly easy for him with an almost just non-existent defense. Made it very easy for him. In terms of the third point, it's not necessarily physical for Joseph Parker. It's more mental. I'm not talking about Joseph Parker. Third reason why I feel Joseph Parker beats Daniel Dubois is the fact that Daniel Dubois is already planning ahead. He's already planning his next move ahead. As you'll see on screen. Have a look on screen. This is immediately after Alexander Usyk beat Tyson Fury in the rematch. Daniel Dubois grabs the mic from Ade. Ade, mate, you tried your best, but Dubois was always going to take that mic. And this was after they announced he'd be fighting Joseph Parker. He's already talking about wanting to rematch Alexander Usyk, and Alexander Usyk does not look happy whatsoever there in that clip at all. Considering the fact he was talking about his kids at the time, he really didn't look happy. Dubois is already planning ahead. He's already planning his next move, his next fight. He can say what he wants, and I know Joseph Parker has tried to kind of, and I like to hear this from Joseph Parker, to be fair. He's already kind of been like, a lot of fighters do that, this, that, and the other. When we've seen fighters in the past talk so much about, this fighter, this fighter, this fighter, all the while having a fighter in front of them who's very live and very game, what happens? More often than not, they tend to lose. You may remember back to 2020, Dillian Whyte, it was announced he would be fighting Alexander Povetkin. It was on Fight Camp. It was the end of Fight Camp in 2020. And the whole run up to that fight, Dylan White never, I don't recall once mentioned Alexander Povetkin. It was Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury. Why was it Tyson Fury? Because he was WBC mandatory at the time. And the mandatory at the time had to be called by February of the next year of 21. And all he could think about was, I want Tyson Fury. I'll do whatever I got to do. I'll go down this road. I'll go that round. Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury. Went in there against Povetkin, and we all know what happened. Absolutely. Well, he eventually got his shot. He had to wait over a year later. Had to win a rematch. But we all know what happened. And these things do happen when a fighter takes his eye off the ball, especially with a dangerous fighter like Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, and Dylan White's case. Upsets, it wouldn't even be an upset, but you can lose because, well, with Dylan White's case, he made a mistake, but also because you didn't factor in how good your opponent is. You're so preoccupied with looking ahead, you've not looked at what's in front of you. You know, you're looking ahead, you can see over that wall, all right? You can see over that wall, that's where you need to go. You still need to get through it. And you didn't realize there was a wall there. Oh, well, shock horror, it's been there for the last 6 months. That's what we're dealing with. And I do wonder, will that come back to bite Daniel Dubois? So my 3 reasons why Joseph Parker beats Daniel Dubois: punch and power for Joseph Parker, lack of defense for Dubois, and potentially Dubois overlooking Joseph Parker. They are the 3 reasons why I'm going with Joseph Parker. Not necessarily picking him, but 3 reasons why I feel Joseph Parker can beat Daniel Dubois. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section. I will, of course, record tomorrow my official prediction. There will be elements of what I've talked about here in it, but you'll get a definitive answer then. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Hit subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. Until next time, peace.